Hey everyone, it's Ivan with chipbadger.com, here to bring you a gear review / update on my Tennessee Arms Company 80% Polymer Lower Receiver. In the other videos, I went through the process of milling out this lower receiver with the jig and supplied bits. Threw them in the drill press, had at it. Definitely ran into a couple issues, me as a layman. Granted, I know how to use a drill press, but it was a little bit difficult. Brought some patience, got it done. Then came the part where I needed to populate this with a lower parts kit. That actually was really frustrating. I have a Geisley Tricon trigger and went to put it in, put the trigger in fine, went to go put the hammer in, and it wouldn't fit. So brought out a file, filed some, wouldn't fit, file, wouldn't fit. Eventually, after filing a bunch more material away, I was able to get it in. I was like, cool, moving on, no worries. I went to go put the safety plunger in. And basically the piece, it's a piece of metal with a little flange, almost like casing at the bottom, and then a conical point. And it basically presses up into the selector drum, your safety drum, and there's a little detent pocket for it. And that's what gives you a positive kind of click into place, safe, fire, back and forth. Wouldn't fit. And I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. Like it would go in, but then the flange kind of around the bottom would get stuck. Went through, I'm like, okay, pulled out more parts kits. Bravo Company, Stag, and I don't remember the other one. None of them would fit. At that point, I was pretty frustrated, called the company, was like, hey, this is the issue I'm having. They were totally cool about it. They said, hey, go ahead, you already milled it out. It's now basically a rifle. Saw the receiver in half, send it back, no problem. We will refund you or replace it. And I was like, you know what, that's really cool. I was thinking about it, I'm like, I don't ever want to mill this thing out again. Like, don't have any more patience for that. But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make this thing work. So went back to it, got that safety plunger, started filing, tried to fit it, started filing, fit it. Finally filed enough material, got it in there to where it moved the way it was supposed to. Good to go on that. After I got my lower parts kit populated in this lower receiver, I was like, time to take this thing to the range, let's throw upper on it. Went to throw upper on it, front pin went in, bring it back. Rear pin would not seat for me to push this across and get an upper on there. Like, maybe it's an issue with the upper. Tried a Bravo Company upper, no go. A Mega Arms billet upper, no. Palmetto State Armory, nope. None of them that fit. Finally, broke the file back out, started removing some material in the back, try it, nope. Remove some more material, try it, nope. Finally, remove enough material, get this thing in there, boom, locked in, incredibly tight, absolutely no play whatsoever, which is a good thing. At that point, it was time to take it to the range, get it zeroed, put some rounds through it. Once this thing was zeroed, wanted to go out, get a little training done, figure out do some mag change drills. Have my pro timer out there, jam one magazine with one round, charge the weapon, be drawing from my other magazine, full magazine, see what kind of split times I could get. So go out there, weapon all charged up, timer, boom, break my shot, didn't lock to the rear. I'm like, that's kind of weird. Conduct my reload, charge it, break my second shot. Do this a couple more times, won't lock to the rear. I'm like, all right, that's kind of weird. So then start going through a bunch of different magazines. Gen 2, Gen 3 PMags, USGI, Surefire, Lancer. I have all kinds of magazines. Went through a bunch of them, no go. Would not lock back on an empty chamber. So the problem I found was this right here, my bolt catch, bolt release. You can see there's so much space in the lower receiver that it can move back and forth horizontally. What that does is this ends up twisting in here one way or the other, and it binds up. So because there's this horizontal movement rather than just vertical movement in this piece right here, what happens is with the empty magazine, follower pressed up, bolt moves all the way to the rear, and when it comes forward, the follower in the magazine is not strong enough to push this guy up to where it needs to be because this is bound up in there with that lateral movement. And so the bolt goes straight home and doesn't get locked back on an empty magazine. Time traveling into the future, the way that video ended about a week ago was me throwing in the towel, being like, I'm done, over it. But I ended up contacting the company to potentially say, hey, I want to ship this thing back. Got on the phone with the engineer, I believe the owner, and started explaining the issue I was having. He's like, we haven't had that. That's strange. Can I send you a new bolt catch bolt release? Maybe that one that you have is a little out of spec. I was like, I doubt it is, but sure, I'll try it. Really cool. Put it in the mail, had it like 2 days later, threw it in there, and pretty much magic. Now locks back as it's supposed to on an empty chamber. Couldn't be happier. I was frustrated because of all my trials up to that point, and I was ready to just throw it in. Turns out, as it can, parts can be made out of spec. I just so happened, for whatever reason, again, I believe Bravo Company lower parts kit, that happened to be out of spec, and magically the one he sent me was in spec, and this thing works great. I don't know that I want to go through that process of milling another one out. Eventually I'd probably like to take a look at their Polymer 308 lower receiver, already populated, save me that headache. But if you're looking for a Polymer lower receiver and want the adventure of milling one out, check out Tennessee Arms Company. They make a pretty cool product, but more importantly, as a company, they stand behind their product, which is pretty important this day and age. Thanks for joining us at kitbadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.